Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasme Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Gurudev. Welcome to the Divya Prabandham satsang of today. Today I'm going to talk about a pasuram from Thirumangai Alvar from Thiruvezhukkurrirukkai. It's verse pasuram 2672. And it says, you are worshipped by Vediyars who do 5 sacrifices with 3 fires, recite the 4 Vedas and do 6 deeds. Your good devotees controlling their 5 senses and removing desires, pride and egoism from their minds are rid of the good and bad karma that cause future births, as they put their minds only on you. You know the true nature of those who do not want to be born again. So, in this verse, the Alvar explains a little bit about the aim of breaking free from samsara, which is the cycle of birth and death, being born and dying and born and dying again and again. And he also shares some practical features of the devotees, what they do when they want to break free from the cycle of birth and death. So this verse made me think about mainly cycles, like repeating cycles which we go through. And of course, the major one being cycle of birth and death. But of course, there are many others in our life which we can contemplate on. And about about the cycles, Kabirdev has a good poem, which actually our friend Jagapati Das Ananda likes to sing as a song. You probably heard him because he's a big fan of the song, and even he was successful enough to that the Guruji included this bhajan in his own bhajan book. So, it's a true success story. Anyways, after hearing it many times, I was checking the meaning of the poem and deeper meaning of it. And the first verse of the poems, it's called Bala hua Mori Gagari Phooti. And it says, the first verse says, Bala hua Mori Gagari Phooti, Main Paniyā Bharana se Chhooti re, More sar se Tali Bala. Thank goodness, my pitcher broke. I do not have to fetch the water anymore. Now I am freed from my problem. And the last one of the same poem says, Bala hua Mori Mala Tuti. Thank goodness my mala has broken. So why would Kabir thank goodness because his mala is broken? Imagine your japa mala being broken. Would you be so happy and thankful? Maybe after this explanation. So in this song, he says, the pitcher, the vessel which he carries water, is broken, and he doesn't need to carry water anymore. And he's thankful for that. So the pitcher represents the mind. Water is the thoughts. And on the other hand, God is love, and love is beyond the thoughts. So mind cannot comprehend and contain love. It cannot contain God. One who takes the path towards God, sooner or later has to surrender the mind. The mind served its purpose of containing the thoughts. Now the thoughts are divinized, offered fully into the fire of pure love. Now it is time to experience divine love, God Himself. This is the state of Kabir, and this is what he always explains in his poems. His own state of reaching that pure love. So, Now it's time to experience divine love. It's time to experience God Himself. When one abides in that ultimate state where the bliss of all that is experienced at once, yet one doesn't get surrounded by shining clouds and light and ascend to heavens while experiencing this state. One is still here living on earth. But every part of one's life is in harmony with His will, and everything is naturally taken care of. There is no need for thinking. There is full surrender. So the one who realized the divine love has his mind shattered. He is not dealing with thoughts anymore. The deal is all about love. That is the business of heart, not the mind. So, no more fetching water. The pitcher has broken. So, which one comes first? Is it the surrender or the realization which brings full surrender? It's an interesting thing to think about, and I would like to invite you to think about this, and maybe another time we can go more deep into this question. Does the surrender come first, or does the experience of divine love come first so that we can experience this full surrender? So if you go to the last verse of the poem, he says this time, "Thank goodness my mala has broken. Bala hua Mori mala Tuti." So the mala represents the cycle. When one breaks free from the cycle, the mala is broken. So after hearing this verse, you might think about breaking free from samsara, as I said, the cycle of birth and death. But let's take a step back to the symbol itself, the mala. We use the mala to chant the divine names. It is a material tool, something we can hold. And it helps us to keep the focus on chanting. So, by using a mala, by counting the rounds, we are also reminded to practice a good amount every day. The physical vibration of the name we chant while holding the mala gets infused onto the mala himself. And it is stored in a specific location, which is the mala. All these purposes exist when the act of chanting is limited to some time and space. But when we chant the name with our every breath, in every moment, and everywhere we go, the chanting becomes unlimited. And when it's freed from the limitation, there is no more need for a mala. The mala has served its purpose. Now it's broken. So this symbolism gives us a good idea of how we can surrender fully and break free from limitation while we are living here on this earth. And we can see something is either 100% unlimited or it is limited. There is no state as half unlimited. It is either unlimited or limited. And something which is 1% limited is limited. And when we know that we are going to spend all our money on God, we don't need to count how much money we have. We put all on the table. That is how spiritual people play. All is all. This reminds me of a story which Guruji shared some time ago, and I've been lazy and I didn't ask for the resources to read you exactly how he told it. But the story goes like this. There was a merchant, a rich man, and he wanted to spiritually grow. He really wanted to understand. So he went to a bona fide guru. And as he went to the guru, Guru was not so much into accepting him. But he really insisted. And then eventually, the guru told him, okay, take all your wealth, all your coins, all your money, and just drop it into the river. And the man was okay with it. And he said, yeah, okay. Then he left to do the Adesh, to do the instructions. And the day passed, it was morning, and then the afternoon, and then towards the evening, the man is still not back. And some disciples start thinking, okay, yeah, he just changed his mind and he went back to his normal life. But the guru said, no, he is at the river, please go and bring him back. And some disciples went there, and the guy was there, throwing his coins one by one, counting each one before throwing. So I was like 1, 2, 3, and so on. So he's been spending all day counting the money that he was throwing into the river. And eventually he was supposed to throw all of it anyways. So they bring him back to the ashram, and then, Guru gives us some good lesson. But you can see the foolishness of the mind when you're asked to surrender everything, yet you still count one by one what we surrender. So this state is reminded. I was reminded about this state when thinking about this situation where we surrender either fully or not. And when we surrender fully, we should not count, we should not measure. So we don't need the mala to measure how much I chanted today and so on. At that state, now we need it. We should use a mala. And once we do something with such attitude, actually it becomes easier. It becomes much easier because we do a sharp, clean, fast cut instead of scratching our way through to have something done. And it takes much less effort, and the grace flows much better. So we should give it all when we give something on the spiritual path. So if you go back to the verse, it gives us some more practical details of how we can practice this. It says, they control their 5 senses, they remove their desires, pride, and egoism from their minds, and are rid of the good and the bad karma. As you know, any kind of karma is binding. So we just offer them all, everything. And so they are freed from future births, and their mind is only on you. You know the nature of those who do not want to born again. So similar to the example of chanting and use of a mala, we can think of our each life we come here on this planet as a one beat on the mala. We live one after other. And it just comes and goes and seems like there is no end, and there is this, that's why we call it a cycle. I remember when I was, I don't remember exact time, but when I was young, the moment that I realized that I'm going to, at some point, have to say goodbye to my mom and father, like I'm gonna lose these people, which they are still alive, but the theme of saying goodbye to someone I love dearly, I was contemplating on that. And then I understand, only thing I can do is to give my best at this moment. And if I experience with them, if I live with them fully, then when the time comes, there will not be any regret, and I'm going to know that I've done my best, and I lived, I had the experience with them to the fullest that I could, and I'm not going to be even sad. Maybe I would rather celebrate what we have done together. So since I realized this, I hold on to that. And then I started thinking about my own life, and I said, yeah, this life is also, I'm going to die also. So what to do with it? And same applies also. And I also took it for myself that if I live the best I can, if I live my life fully, when I die, I'm just gonna die. It's just another event in this life. There's nothing to go back. There is no regret, because everything is already done in the best way possible. Best meaning that, now the definition of that best way possible is much better and clearly defined, thanks to the guidance of Gurudev, that it is a spiritual life, to live life and dedicate it towards spiritual advancement, towards God, towards the love of God. And there is no regret. There's just good feelings, feeling of accomplishment. And since some years, I can die any moment, and I don't have any problem with it. It's just no problem, It's just good. So, yeah, about our life, which is going to end at some point, yet we keep having life after life. So how to break this mala? How to get free, break free of the cycle of birth and death? When we sincerely offer every moment of our life to God, then it's not going to matter how many days we have lived, how many days we have left. All is His. We have given it all to Him. We have offered. This moment is the moment where the mala of samsara is broken. One is already free of birth and death, yet still alive on this earth. So this is the state, and this, thinking about all these things, give me a deeper understanding of what does it mean when Guruji says you can achieve Vaikuntha in this life. It's not like leaving this plane and etc. It's about offering it all. Like when we offer every day to God, our life to God, this life itself becomes unlimited. And we are no more in this cycle. We are no more in this birth and death thing. Yeah. And that's what I wanted to share with you. Thanks to this wonderful verse from Thirumangai Alvar. And Jai Gurudev. Thank you.